I'm not sure if I could say it. If I could say, okay, this is just a question you should ask yourself. Why do you think throughout history and pretty much most of the, if not all of the holy books say virginity is sacred, right? When did sleeping around become so glorified, right? I mean, I know all the music industry, stuff like that, brainwashing people, but to make it worse, it's glorified when they sleep with hookers, hoes, or just people at the club, which obviously a body counts in the 2-3 figures, right? I don't understand how you can glorify that. I don't care if you call yourself a player, right? No matter how you look at it, it's literally stupid, right? You're not getting a second-hand woman, not a third-hand woman. You're getting like a 10th, 50th, 100th hand woman, if that's even a thing, right? So you just use them used good, and then you happily brag about it, which is the most stupidest shit I've ever seen. I'm not sure how people got to this stage in the first place. Somehow glorified it, seen as a good thing. I mean, like, what was it? What was that song I just saw on IG? Something to do like he got hit from a stripper or some shit. I think it's by Don Vo, whatever his name is. No, I think that's a trader. Something like that. Like what is there to be brag about? Stripper, bro, like, come on. It's just used up good, it's nothing special, right? In terms of entertainment, in terms of like an accomplishment, right? Some people use it as a way to try to amplify or show their persona, like masculine persona, which is the total opposite, right? Because it's much harder and much more rewarding just to find a single woman, single wife, right? And then obviously having kids, her being loyal, raising the kids, stuff like that. But I'm not sure if I could say it. If I could say, okay, this is just a question you should ask yourself. I might put this at the start of the clip actually. Why do you think throughout history and pretty much most of the, if not all of the holy books say virginity is sacred, right? I mean, I could say, I don't know if I could say it, right? Because I'm not sure if I get shadow banned. I've never seen anyone talk about it. But it stems from the concept of animals. There's already like evidence and studies from animals, but they say it doesn't apply to humans, which is bullshit, right? We are animals. But yeah, I mean, okay, women store DNA, pretty much simple as that, right? I'm gonna just say it straight up. Who cares? That's just how it's always been. So, I mean, if you go in depth into it, you'll see it. Like one of the experiments were a zebra and a horse mated, and then the horse mated with another horse, and it gave birth to a horse with the zebra stripes, right? And science tries to claim that it only applies to animals, it doesn't apply to humans, which we know is bullshit. Especially, there's a weird phenomenon, you could say. The more women slept with someone, by the way, the word is called telegamy. Shit, I forgot to say, telegamy, some shit like that, or gani, I'm not sure. But either way, the more a woman slept with someone, like hookers, the less likely the kid looks like either the parents. Alright? I mean, it's a weird phenomenon. I guess you could say the more retarded the kid looks as well, just because it's a mix of every DNA possible. But if this thing was taught in school, women would actually, number one, keep their virginity, You could say because they want to just keep it for the sake of the kid being 100%, but more so because men wouldn't want to go with the ones that aren't virgins, right? That'll be the main reason behind it. Unless, I mean, you're one of those cucks that don't mind. Okay, I'm generalizing, by the way. Some people have different principles, so it's fine. In their eyes, in mine, regardless, there's zero reasons why it'd be fine to even marry one that's not a virgin. But you'd argue then, your kid isn't 100% yours. I mean, maybe 90%, 95%, 98%, right? Technically, in theory, you probably see cases of it. Let's say whole family, parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, all had brown eyes. There's not a single case of blue eyes. And then let's say that same mother had 3 kids, all brown eyes, and somehow the 4th kid turns out with blue eyes. You think that's just random, or just random genetic defect, or genetic gamble, or whatever you want to call it? Possibly, but if you look at her backstory, she probably slept with a guy that had blue eyes. So it's a gamble, right? I mean, eyes is the easiest to tell in terms of DNA mix with the kid. There's other features, you know, facial features that are harder to tell, but the most obvious is the eye. Again, I'm not saying everything will guarantee because I can't really prove that eye example, but I know for a fact that's most likely to be that in that case, especially if you were to do a survey. Like, surveys are relevant because they make shit up, but if you were to, I'm not sure how do you track that, but you get my point. Just find, I guess, honest individuals to tell you that behind cameras. But yeah, that should change everything, right? In terms of why virginity was so sacred in the holy books, right? When you see holy books agree in the same thing, right? The same thing in those two different holy books, right? Two different religions, two different gods, whatever you want to call it. But when you see not just two or several religions agreeing the same thing, for example, gratitude is good, the more you're grateful, the more you receive, and vice versa, or they make virginity sacred, right? Then you want to check in depth, right? Obviously, the most obvious one is pair bonding. The more a woman sleeps with a guy, the less likely they are to actually pair bond with the person. Like, the more body counts they have, the more likely they are to divorce, right? It increases substantially after every plus body count. I mean, that's pretty obvious. That's backed up. But yeah, I mean, you gotta go deeper than that, which is the DNA thing. Some of you might say it's hard to find one. Just go in a specific area where it's like, it gets more common. Obviously not in the cities, the major cities, more likely to find in suburban, countryside, stuff like that, and even more likely to find in religious communities, because, you know, they're religious, they don't, I guess, do acts of sin because of the fear of God, or the respect of God, however you want to see it. It's more like prudent fear rather than fear, because some people see that fear as the wrong way. But yeah, I mean, that probably change the whole thing. Some people might have some cognitive dissonance, completely deny everything, ignore everything. So it's up to you. You can do your own research, check everything out. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. I'm sure there's another 1 or 2 points that I can just feel. I have another 2 points to talk, but it's just not coming in on top of my head right now as I'm recording this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace.